Hi everybody, and welcome back to Nellie and Ruth Designs. Today I'm going to make a fun little project. Of course, I think a lot of the projects that I do are fun, but I do I'm getting into the so-called the little bits and bobs and little ditties and everything that I really enjoy working with. And this is either going to go in my junk journal or most likely my junk journal because it is kind of thick. I was thinking about putting it in my scrapbook with some special photos I have of when I raised two baby robins. But I may just put a couple photos in my junk journal and then I will attach this in it. But I have a lot of children's books, reading books, and I really love the images in them. These are very old. A lot of them are damaged. They're written in. So it's nothing I would want to really keep and put in my home library. I do have some that are in there that are in wonderful condition. But I love the images in these books. And I've been thinking about, how I could use them, especially images that go across the top or bottom of a couple pages. You could still, take images. This would be a really fun image to use. You want to, when you're making, I'm calling this a playing card storybook, little storybook. You want to, this would be a sweet little scene, for a Christmas one you want to make. There's a lot. So when I was going through here, I found some pictures of robins. And this is one of the pages that came out of the book here. I took 2 pages out. This was one of them. 2 little robins up in a tree. They are as happy as you can see. 3 baby robins up in a tree. They want to fly, as you can see. So I'm not sure if this was, the last one was Spring is Here, Spring is Here. I know it. Yeah, that must be the last page. Possibly. I don't know. Doesn't matter. But there's just a lot of really fun, wonderful images in these little books, and I really want to use them. So I came up with a little storybook. Now, I had created something similar to this. It's in my junk journal now, but I have a video on using envelopes, like accordion style, little accordion style book. I'll link that video with this. But this one I'm using because I have a drawer full and I really want to use them up. This I made with playing cards, some vintage Norman Rockwell playing cards. And I really want to try to start using these up a little bit more, incorporating them in my journals and for tags and journaling cards in my scrapbook that maybe I can tuck behind a photo or whatever. So this here is going to be, the back of it here will be glued down into my book. So it will be like this. I'm going to come up with a way where I'm going to tie this so it stays down. So when you open this up, you're going to open it this way and you're going to see the story. So it says 2 little robins up in a tree. They made a nest, as you can see. So what I did here was I cut the images of the robins here building their nest out. I decorated the back, or actually the fronts of the playing cards, the backdrop of the story here. And so when you open it like this, let me get my finger under here. You open it this way, and then you can take it, because this will be attached down. You take it and you flip it, and then here is another section of the story here. 2 little robins up in a tree, eggs in a nest, as you can see. So the next part of the little story would be this here, where they're up in a tree, happy as can be. They're sitting on the eggs, and they're taking nourishment. And then the back side will be showing the baby robins. So I want to make this with you because I just think it's just a really fun, very cute way to create a story in your journal. Use the words from the story itself, and it's just a little flip book. So that's what we are going to create today. So it's very simple. All you need is a children's book, or if you have another type of book that you want to work with, grab some pages. You just need playing cards. You need your, I have art glitter glue. You can use whatever glue you want. And then the only other embellishments I used on this were some Tim Holtz. I already opened up the package, so I'm not sure. Let's see if I kept this. Yeah. Field notes. This is his field notes collection. So I used that. And then I have some transparent or translucent, I never know what to say, stickers here that I used to decorate. So you really don't need a lot of supplies. I'm going to put this in my playlist. I think it's called Use It Up. But you just want to use up what you have at home in your craft room. And then I have a 12 by 12 piece of paper, scrapbook paper, that I'm going to cut down. And I love this pattern. I just happen to use, this is Paisley and Vine. This is called Vineland. This is from Blue Stern Studios, if there's anybody out there that orders from them. And I think I got these for they were on sale. I got a whole bunch for 10 cents a sheet. And I'm so glad that I did. I just love it. Love the patterns and the colors. So I'm going to get this cut down after I show you. I'm going to take this slow, and we're just going to do one thing at a time. So I really didn't know how many cards I wanted to use when I started out. So I just started. There's 6 here, 2, 4. No, there's 2, 4. There's 5. So I think I'm going to do 5 again, because I want to have my 3 to feature the artwork. And this will go on this side, and again 3. So I'm going to need 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We can put the rest away here. But I like making these so much. I'm going to be making quite a few more, because they really are fun to make. Now, what I used to hold these together was washi tape. And I just had, I have a little scrap here. And sometimes I can be pretty stingy with my washi tape. And you want a wide, not thick. You want a wide washi. I think I'll use this brown. I have a little bit more of that. You want a wide, you can see that's what's holding this together is the washi. And you want a wide piece in between. This I'll set over here. I was going to use that, but I'll just be consistent and use this here. I'm just going to move my light a little bit more over here. And you're just going to kind of leave a little bit, I don't know if that's 1/4 of an inch, but you want to leave enough space in between there. So as you add your embellishments and your papers, it folds nicely. So see, by folding that, you have enough space there. And you just really kind of have to eyeball it. And I'm also going to show you, you're going to see on here the funky stitching on each of these. I'm going to show you what I did for each one to make it like that. It's actually kind of fun. And you don't have to stitch. You don't have to add the extra pieces, because this is more of a little nature scene. I did want to add some craft paper, which I'm going to do on this one because I want to make it consistent. I want them to match. I think, you know, if you have, some people will say, well, why would I want something like this in my journal or in my scrapbook? Or why would I want to take the time? And I think, I don't have any yet. Little grandchildren. I think this is a wonderful little feature. I mean, you could make a whole little journal just of these for your granddaughter or your grandson. There's so many things that you could create, and they would have so much fun opening and closing these little accordions. And it's just kind of a special surprise. Even if you did an ABC one and you sat down with your little granddaughter or grandson, that's a great way for them to learn their ABCs and have fun at the same time. So here are the cards all put together, and I'm just going to set that up here out of the way. These we need to cut out yet. Like I said, I'm going to go slow with this so you can take notes, or you want to just sit back, chill, and relax and watch. That's great. So these cards are 3.5 by 2.25. So we are going to do the 3.5 this way because I want these vines going up. You will see here. They're kind of coming up. Once you get everything on them, you don't really notice. But I just kind of like to keep my paper going in one direction. And I'm not talking about the music group when I say that. So this is going to be the 3.5. And then we'll do the 2.25. And that, you know, you're going to have to measure your playing cards, but that's what size these are here, okay? So that's why I'm cutting mine. Some playing cards come a little bit bigger. Some are wider. I have those giant playing cards too. That would be a fun thing also, to make them with the giant playing cards. And I need one more. 3.5. And 2.25. I had to make one first. So it would go fairly easy and quickly, and I wasn't stumbling and bumbling when I made this one with you. Okay, that's done. All right, so once you get your pieces cut, you don't have to round the corners. I do. If you don't have a corner rounder, I use the 1/4 inch on these. You could always put them on, and you could just trim them yourself. But if you have a corner rounder, I suggest you do it. This one here is We Are Memory Keepers, and I love this. It has a nice grip on it. Some of the smaller hand corner punches I had trouble with. Sometimes it was I couldn't punch really good if you have maybe a little bit of arthritis in your hands. This is just like using a pair of scissors, and you can see it cuts very, very easy. And if you aren't familiar with this one, you're probably saying, where are all of the little pieces going? Because they aren't falling down on the table. And I will show you where these are stored. So there's a little tiny top here. You flip it up, and there's all the little pieces. So, and it does hold quite a bit. You don't have to empty it at each time you use it. And then you just flip that down, and that goes like that, and it goes back into storage. All right, so now I'm going to distress these. And you'll notice on this here, I'll give you this to look at, something pretty to look at. This here I did every other, the green, blue, green, blue. This is obviously double-sided paper. All right. And that's what I will do on this one here. Oh, I'll put that there. I was going to say, flip it over and let's put it like this here. I might have my camera a little too low. I want to try to keep this up close so you can really see. And again, because this is an odd number of 5, on the back side, you're going to remember this is going to be glued down on your paper. So when you flip it to do it, you're only going to be decorating 4. You don't need to cut 5. And if you have, like on this paper here, I didn't have enough. So I just took my craft paper and I put this on the end. So don't fret if you don't have enough paper. If there's something that you like, you could use more craft paper in between. Make it your own. Do whatever you have. Just use up your goodies. So the next thing I'm going to do, I only work one side at a time. So I will get these taken care of. And I'm going to set them aside. And I only have 4. I have enough paper, so I can do each. I won't use the craft paper on the other one, but maybe on one of them I will, just to make it correspond. Whoops, sorry, I had to do blue on this side. Okay, so those are done and they're ready for the back side. I'm going to put them over there. So the next thing that you want to do is you want to glue these down. And I'm going to start with the green. And you'll notice on mine, my 1/4 inch punch doesn't come all the way out. I don't care about that because you really don't notice the ends, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You may have a corner punch that is works better with your cards. But like I said, use what you have. And I'm not using a lot of glue in the middle, just a little bit, because when I put this through my sewing machine, I don't want a lot of the glue coming through onto my needle. So I'm trying to just keep it around the edges. Now you could sew these if you are interested in stitching these like I did. You can stitch them. There's a couple different ways you could do it. You could leave these cards off, and then when you rip your craft paper to put on here, which we're going to do on the back side, you can stitch it and then put the cards on. You could stitch your craft paper first if you don't want to put this thickness through your machine. If you're nervous about maybe your needle can't handle it, or you don't want to break a needle, you could do your stitching on your craft paper first, and then you could rip and tear a piece and then adhere it. But I'm going to rip my craft paper, attach it, and then we're going to stitch it. We'll stitch it on there, and I'll show you. I call it the crazy way to stitch, and it's easy to do it, to stitch it and make your crazy stitch when you have your cards all lined up. It's kind of like using a steering wheel in a video game. You're just kind of like all over the place with it. I'm just taking little bits and pieces and just adding. If your piece is too big, you can just rip it down. And then what I'm going to do is, before I stitch this with you, I'm going to just put a square edge on, or a straight edge on this. I'll cut out my robin. I'll start to cut my robin page out. And then most likely it'll give this some time to dry. Because I do want the glue to dry a little bit, because we are going to be sewing through this craft paper. And again, I'm just trying to go around the sides of this, because you'll see why. You don't have to really get a lot in the center. You just want to make sure that you get around the edges so it sticks, because your stitching is going to go more in the center. Okay. And again, you can make your pieces as big as you want. So I'm just going to set this aside for a few minutes. Let me see if I can raise this just a little bit. Okay. All right. All right. So we have those. And then you just kind of have to think the process out and just double check yourself. Keep double checking yourself. That when you open it up, you want to make sense of your story. If it's going to be a two card storybook, a double decker, I guess. So this next part where they're up in a tree, I do want it to be on here where you fold this out as well underneath, okay? So this will be on the top. And don't ever worry and fret about your wording being your sentences being too long, because you cut it up. So what I'm going to do, because this is up a little bit, closer to the words. And this is a really nice project. I don't know if you craft while or I should say, you watch your TV shows or Netflix or Acorn TV. That's my favorite, Acorn. That's all the British shows. We're not much into American shows anymore. This is a nice project to do when you're watching TV. There. And then now I don't need to cut these up straight away because I know they're going to fit. So I'm just going to set them up there like that. This I'm going to save for the back side just so I don't get them confused. And let's get this cut out here. And this is giving this time to dry. And again, with a project like this, when you cut it out, It can be, I don't want to say sloppy cutting because it doesn't have to be as precision as if you were doing something else in your journal. You can make your border around these as big as you want. And it doesn't have to be all the same dimensions, you know, all the way around. You can have one a little bit, you know, like these little, their back wings here might be a little bit bigger. Or if you get in around their beaks, you might want to have a little bit more paper. Oh, I don't know what she's barking at. Oh, all right, that obviously somebody's here. All right, hold on a second. Okay, all right, so I'm going to finish this getting here, and I think that my my cards are definitely dry now. So this is going to go right here in these three, on these three cards here. But first, we're going to get this sewn, and I'm going to switch my phone back around so you can see how I stitch this to make the crazy circle stitches. So I'm going to break away, get it set up, and then we will do some stitching. Okay, I hope this is a good angle for you. And I'm going to show you now. We'll get this stitch. Hopefully my table isn't going to rock. I always start the first two just so I get my needle down in there, because like I said, it is a little bit thicker. And I just kind of drive it around. And if I have my long, because I don't want it to catch underneath, so if I have my long threads there, I just clip them off. Ouch, that's my fingernail. All right, so see how that's just kind of wiggly and squiggly and just kind of fun there. And so you can see how it's just, they're just all kind of haphazardly sewn and stitched on here in any old. And I like having it on the cards because, let me move this a little bit. I can hold it and I can, like I said, I can kind of steer it like a, car here. You just have to be careful if you get close to the edge. Just slow down and I think the hardest thing is keeping it on that craft paper so you don't go off onto the onto your scrapbooking paper. But again, you just want to take it easy and go slow. And you purposely want to crisscross your stitches so you get that funky little look. See, so sometimes when it gets a little thick, you have to push it along because it will stay in one spot. And I'm going to clip these because I don't want these to get caught down in my bobbin, because that wouldn't be a pretty picture. There. All right, so that's what we have so far. So let's go back over and we will start embellishing. All right, so these are all sewn on, and what I'm going to do is just clean the back up a little bit with these longer threads so they aren't peeking out and popping out. On this side, I don't mind if I have little ones like this, because I think that would look kind of cool coming out from underneath, but these long ones I don't need. That I'm going to keep. These I keep. And this is just personal preference. However you want to have your, how much stitching you want to have on your cards and such. Okay. Now, the next thing is to lay out your design. So you want to know exactly where that is going to go. And when you have something like this, you want to try to make your break where you're going to cut it, because you have to cut it. You can't just glue it on here and then fold. See, you have to make your cuts. You have to make your breaks here. So you just kind of want to look at the overall. I see here, you would not want to make your cut here because the worm would not show through. So I'm going to be pushing this over a little bit right about here, because I want this series of picture definitely to show. So the first thing, I'm not going to glue that on yet, because I may want to put some Tim Holtz ephemera and other little embellishments around. I do know that my sayings are going to be on each end. Make sure that you get them. This is going to have to go on this side. This is going to have to go on this side. Two little robins up in a tree. They are as happy as you can see. So make sure that your sayings are proper. Then you're just going to start picking out some, let's move this up here, some little bits that you might want to put. And I do like these little pieces here that I used before. I've been wanting to use that, and I really haven't had a chance to use it. This I know I'm going to use because I used that in the other one. I really liked that. I don't need the deer. I have these berries. I don't need the wreath. Some leaves. I'm just picking out some things that might go. This one I have the tree again. I don't need a snowflake. We've got a bear, a couple bears. We've got a beautiful elk here. This looks like, I don't know if that's cotton or snow. All right, so I'm going to, that looks like a poinsettia. This is a little winter theme. So these I'm going to put back in. I can't tell you where I got these. I think I got them from AliExpress, possibly. I don't know. But I'm going to see what I can use on here. I may not use that, but I do like the tree here. I do like the tree. That's kind of fun, isn't it? Let's see what else we have for Tim Holtz in this little cachet here. We know we don't need any of these larger items. Maybe we could use something like that. Now, I don't want to go too high because remember, that's just a reminder that I have the saying here that I'm going to have to put up in that corner. So I could stay with the stamp style. I have these. Maybe I'll just pull a few things out first. We have that. We've got our mushrooms. I don't want any butterflies in this. Could pull some tall mushrooms. I don't need a dragonfly. There's that. There's another stamp. I do like the stamps. Oh, let's see here. I'm not using any flowers because these aren't transparent, and I want the transparent ones, or translucent, whatever they're called. Another little mushroom. All right, so I think that's, I think that might be good. Let's just start with this. So, and remember, you know, I know you're probably saying, well, this is covered up. The stitching here is covered up. If you want to show a little bit more stitching, you can cut a little bit more out here. I'm not using my X-Acto knife on this. If you've watched my past videos, I'm a big one to use an X-Acto knife, but this paper is so delicate because it is old that I don't want to tear it. So I'm just going to be very careful. I'm taking my really sharp sewing scissors. So then if I put this here like this, see, a little bit more of the stitching comes through. So that takes care of that. All right, so do something like that. And you really don't, you know, sometimes I think the less thought you put into some of this stuff, you don't have to ponder and, you know, oh, you have to have the right thing. As long as it has to do with nature. I like that. As long as it has to do with nature and the woods, you know, if you are working with something like this, anything will fit. And use what you have. That's the most important thing, is to use it up. And sometimes when you're doing these, you know, you're working in your journal or a scrapbooking page, sometimes the pages can be large and you're not quite sure what or how you want to do it. That's why these little pieces like this are so much fun to make, because your tiny little ephemera stands out that much more. And I think it all complements each other. And like I said, you're going to have your own style. So you do you. You do you. All right, I'm going to get this other side done over here just because of the words. See if I can get a little. Well, come on, Barbie. For goodness sakes. I think I'll just leave this. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to round the corners on the bottom of this so it kind of fits in a little snugger. Snugger. Is that even a word? Snugger. So it's just kind of rounded there. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to add this little one here. All right, I'm just going to push these over to the side for a minute. So we have they're happy, as you can see. I'm sitting here, while I'm sitting here doing this, I'm thinking like, what am I going to fix for dinner tonight? The dreaded dinner conversation you have with yourself. Ugh. They are happy, as you can see. Okay, so there's the front and the back, or the front, the side by side here, beginning and end. All right, so now this here, I don't want to cut yet. You're not going to want to cut it yet, because if you're going to add anything behind or whatever, you want to get it planned and organized out prior to cutting. And I think I would like to use a berry or something here, more of a floral possibly. These kind of blend in a little too much. How about this red one? Put the red stamp up there like that. I don't necessarily want to have another sticker here. I want this to be all on its own. I could put that down there like that. Move that up there. And I don't want anything right here. I want to keep this free and just focus on that there. What do you think? You think I should put that here? I feel like it needs a little something there. I feel like it needs a little color. I could I don't want to do that. I think I'm just going to leave this. Maybe I will put this up here. And I will move, whoops, not upside down, I won't. I'll move the stamp down here. I think that will be better. Okay. And I think I just told all of you not to fret and worry about. And I'm just using, you'll notice that I'm not going and trying to find other things, or I do want it to coordinate. So I am just using what I have here, these few Tim Holtz items, and I'm not distressing everything. Okay, all right. Okay, so now for the birds. What I do when I go to cut, I will take my little tool, my handy dandy little Cricut tool. Where's my little, here, my little paddle. And I just kind of, I work one side at a time. I don't try to do the whole thing at once. So I get it where I want like right about there, I think would be good. Because this is going to line up with that stamp. I could have put these, I could have lifted this. I could have put these a little bit under that stamp. Let me see here. And then it wouldn't be so abrupt, would it, that where I cut that off. And then I would have to just tilt it a little bit. I can do it like that. Okay. Bring it out a little bit. Okay. So now that I have it in position where I want to put it, I'm going to just make a little line and follow the card. Just kind of feel my way through it. And then I don't know if you can see it, but there is a little tiny indentation there. Then I just take my scissors and I clip it. Okay. So then this will go back on here like this, okay? And then this is going to be glued onto here. And I think I'm just going to trim this up a little bit here. I'm not going to cut way in on this. But I am going to make a little nick in there. And this I'm going to bring down just a little bit where that yellow is. And then wherever this is, I have to line up. That will be where I glue it. My girl is barking outside, and I have to keep looking to make sure it's not raining, and it's not raining. It looks like rain, but I want them to be out a little bit. Although I don't think my dogs think they're dogs anymore. Okay, so we're going to put that up there like that. And I'm going to lift this here, get that tucked underneath that little part of the stamp. This will be fine right there, okay? And then we are going to get the back side of the bird, the robin, glued on. And this is where this is going to be. So that will go just like that, okay? All right, now where you do the same thing. And I know you're all saying, oh my God, that's tedious work. Well, it can be, but I enjoy it. Some people do not enjoy this type of work. But I really like it. And this here is just a little off. So I'm just going to take a little smidgen, not a lot, of that. And we're going to get this. We're going to get the middle part glued on. And just line it up as best you can. And remember, this is art glitter glue, so it does somewhat work mysteriously fast. So you're going to have to work mysteriously fast as well. And then you have your last piece that you can put on here. And just make sure, I mean, you will get them on right because of the way it's cut on the end here. There. So you now have your front section of the your little playing card storybook all set to open up. And then we just have to do the back side. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get the papers. I'm going to get the papers here. This craft paper ripped and torn. I'm just going to sew it on. It'll be the same thing. I'm just going to sew these individually. I'm going to get them adhered to the back. I will get these sweet little birds cut. We will get this cut out, and then we will come back and we will get this put all together. So I decided that we're going to finish this on here. I'm going to put these in my journal. So you can see exactly how these can be placed in your journal. Little different idea I have. So I'm going to, as you can see, I have this all cut out and I picked my little ephemera out. Going to cut my words out here, and I'm going to get these right on the they want to fly, as you can see. 3 baby robins up in a tree. So I think it went, how'd I just see that? 3 baby robins up in a tree. They want to fly, as you can see. So we are going to do it this way. And if you feel that you don't have enough room for some of your words, your items, always leave a this darn glue. Always leave one blank if you want to. You can put everything on one page. If you have enough room, you can put them across as well if you have 4. Again, make it your own. Do what you're comfortable with. If you don't have 3 baby robins up in a tree, if you don't have a lot of little ephemera pieces, you could put the wording on each little page. That would help take up some of the room. They want to fly, as you can see. So I believe I'm going to put this in my nature journal that I bought from Tanya. And I think it'll be very cute. And I wasn't sure how I was going to, what I wanted to do with that journal I purchased from her. And I think this will be a good start to start working in that journal and filling up. There. Okay, so we have that. And then I'm going to get these little ones put down first. I have a I want to have this mushroom over here because see that sharp spot? I can just soften that a little bit with using that little area. And the other thing, by using something round, it also will soften it a little bit too. So let's see, this here, I think I want to, I've got to get my birds situated. I think I want to put that over that. This is going to go under. That will go like that. Okay. So now we have to decide. I was going to do all of this off camera, but I'm going to do this, obviously, share with you again here. And I think what I will do is I'm going to make this, I think I'm going to start from this side over this time. And we're going to do it right where the beak ends. And so, and again, make sure you have good light. I'm looking right here, duh. Make sure you have good light when you do this so you can actually I'm just going to double check this because it just appears that, I guess here we go. I wasn't quite sure if that, sometimes it's just a little tricky to see the way my lighting is here. And I think that I don't want to ruin this. I've done all this work. I think we're going to cut it. Maybe just to the right of this a little bit. Oh, right here. Duh. Okay. All right, so we're going to get that one on here first. Working backwards here. Usually I work left to right. Now I'm working right to left. So that kind of buggers things up a little bit. I know this is a longer video. I hope if you're if you're still here, I'm glad that you have stuck around. You know, to watch this. If you're not real familiar with, you know, I think sometimes they always say the devil's in the details. And sometimes it is nice just to see, you know, do you want to put it over? Do you want to put it under? You know, if you're going to go over, under, what part do I glue? Do, you know, I have to remember this, I have to remember that. And then again, because I'm working this way, I have to Am I going to have to cut it this way, put this over here? I believe so. I can't work from here and move it this way. So that's another thing that you have to take into consideration. So it's all these little things that you don't think of. You let me think of it and let me make the mistakes. So when you go to do it, it's pretty clear sailing. Okay, we'll put that there. Come on, Betsy. There we go here. Okay. There we go. Move that a little bit. There we go. And then this will go here like this, which we will get lined up. And before we do that is that will be going over to soften that corner, that sharp corner. And this is kind of fun because look at how, well, I'll point it out after. Let me get this down. But look at how, I'll leave that like that. Look at how this line here, this looks like it's part of the branch that comes across from the washi tape. So that's kind of fun. Okay. There. All right, so this here is done. So we have the second little part of our playing card storybook. This is done. So here is the two little robins up in a tree. They are as happy as can be. Okay, so you open that up this way. You flip it. And you have three baby robins up in a tree. They want to fly, as you can see. So these are complete. We're going to now get them in the journal. And I have an idea on how to put these in. I'm going to raise this up a little bit so you can see exactly the crazy method I'm looking at. So I want to have this, I want to have them like this. This is the top. This is the top one here. Okay, eggs in a nest, as you can see. Two little robins up in a tree. They are happy as can be. Three baby robins up in a tree. They want to fly, as you can see. So this is going to be the bottom, and this will be the top. So my initial thought was to get out my handy dandy crocodile and put two, not brads, but whatever you call them. I always forget. But put two rivets, gaskets, whatever, brads on each side and come through with a ribbon. Well, I went over, because this is the use it up, I went over to in my drawer, I have an item. It says use it up supplies. And this envelope was in here. So this will be really cool. And I'm going to be able to use this as a pocket as well. So what I want to do is, if this will work, let's see. This is going to be adhered up there, and this is going to be adhered down here at the bottom. And I'm going to get ribbon, and I'm going to have 2 separate ribbons that come across and tie. And I think that will work out really cool. And I'm not going to embellish this. I want this, you know, all of this to show this packing. And because this is going to be up, you won't see it as a, you will not see it as a pocket. But what I could do, I also have elastic. I could make an elastic band and slide them under the elastic band instead of making the bulk of a ribbon. So I'm going to go get my elastic band, and we're going to thread that through, and then we'll be able to just plop these right down through there. All right, I have my elastic ribbon, and that would have worked really, really well. I tried it. However, I reminded myself when I took it out, I don't have this back part done. I made these to adhere so they could just open up this way. So I need to adhere these to this piece right here. And then we're going to tie them up so I can untie them. And then I can look at the book once they're open. So let's get this done here. And you see, I keep checking myself. So this goes here. Fly. All right, so we're going to set this aside, this one here. All right, so we are going to adhere this here, but first I think I'm going to add, I have my crinkly ribbon here, and I picked this color out. And I just want to find the end. I'm sure it's here somewhere. Somewhere. I think I'll just take it. I want to take it all out. But I think I might have to take it all out just to find that little end. Here we go. All right, so we're going to feed this through here like this. Come around here. And we will position this so that way this will be, I want to make sure I have enough to tie right here. Okay. So we will adhere that there. Okay, and then we will adhere this one right here at the base. So I'm going to do, we will get that one right at the base. And I have to poke this through here. These I purchased online through the internet. I don't know. That makes no sense, doesn't it? Online through the internet. That's why I don't talk and work at the same time. I think it was from something Harbor. And I got them on Instagram. They had an Instagram sale. I also think they have a website, an Etsy shop, but I would have to go back and look. But I really like some of the things that they sell just for this. I mean, all right, so I'm going to attach this with my tape. Because I think the tape will hold these just fine until a 3-year-old gets a hold of it and then rips it. Rips it off, but I don't plan on that happening anytime soon. All right, so we'll peel this. Put my fingers between the tape and the all right, I'm just going to double check before I put this down. It's made a nest. Okay. And we are going to measure this like this. I'm just going to set that there for a minute. We'll put that there. Okay. There. And then this one. Now this will add some bulk to my journal, but that's okay. This is a one signature journal, and there isn't a lot to it right now. So I am fine with this. And then this will be right at the very bottom here. I'm going to try to get these lined up. I wish these were a little bit higher, but because these are down in here, it's okay. It's just something to, looks like it's keeping it closed a little bit. And this can hang down out of my journal. I don't mind that at all. Oh, I think this is going to be adorable in there. All right, so let's move all this. Let's bring the journal back over. This is the single signature journal. And I'm going to attach that right here on this page. And then I think, see, that'll be just fine in there. So again, I'm going to use my I'm going to use my tape, and then I will go around it with the glue from that, my art glitter glue. And I'm going to add some extra to this, and it looks like I'm going to have to order some more. Because I do not, because there's some bulk here, I don't want it coming out. Okay. Try this side here. Come on, stick, stick, stick. Come on, why isn't this sticking? This should stick just fine. All right, so this is what I'm gonna have to do. I don't know, it's not waxy or anything. So I'm not quite sure what the deal is here. Come on, you little son of a gun. There we go. I don't know what was up with that. Never had that happen before. There we go. And then I'll just add some of this around the sides. And I'm not using, I could use my 3-in-1, but I'm not going to use that because I really don't want it to ooze out of the sides or anything. Because I am going to put this somewhat close, and I don't really want the other pages soaked through with glue either. So that's the way I'm going to do it. And we will put this right about here. There. So then when I close it, I'll have a little bit here hanging out. And like I said, I don't mind the bulk. So that is the grand finale of this video. I think these little playing card storybooks are adorable. You can open them up. You can look at your little story. And then if you have something to, which I will put over here on this side, a nice photo of me with one of the robins that I raised out in my potting shed. I'll have a little story to go along with my little storybooks. And I think that they are just adorable. I know it's a tedious, time-consuming project, but I think you would find great enjoyment in making these. You could even do that backside so you could tuck it into a pocket and then just take it out. You could, you know, tuck it in here, take it out, look at it, and each side would be done. But I really think these are adorable. If you enjoyed this video, I would love to have you give me a thumbs up. I would really love to hear your comments on it if it's something you'd like to try. And I'd love to have you try one. So let me know, everybody. Have a great day. Have an awesome upcoming week. And I will see you down the road. Alrighty. Bye-bye.